Hey everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Chloe. Today I want to show you guys some hairstyles I like to throw my hair in when I'm not feeling it, my curls are dead, or I just have like dirty hair, but I want to do something cute and easy. So the styles I'm going to show you are just styles that I like to do. Of course, you can tweak them in any which way to make them your own. Let's just get started. I'm going to start with probably the easiest one first. For all of these, you don't need a lot. I'm just going to be using a regular comb, clips of any kind, so you might not even need clips for some stuff. The thing you'll be using the most, and the one thing I'll be using the most for all of these is the little hair elastics. I like the clear elastics just because I have lighter hair. It just doesn't stick out as much. Optional, I have these little braid cuffs. They just go around the pony if you want to disguise the elastic. I don't use them always. I think these styles look just as good with as without. I don't always use those. I think all of these styles look just as good without as they do with. My first step is pretty much always sectioning out my bangs. I try and make sure that I'm keeping this bang section even on both sides. That way one side doesn't have more bangs than the other. Once I've got that sectioned, I usually clip them just in front, and I try and clip it in between my eyes so I can still see everything clearly. Okay, so the first one is like a half up, half down. I like to take my half up, half down starting from the corners of my ears. We'll go in and start right where my ear starts. And I'm just taking my fingers to kind of roughly section this. You can get a very nice section with fingers. It doesn't have to be perfect, honestly. I'm gonna comb everything back. Take a clear elastic. I'm not doing a super tight pony, so I'm not like tying it against my head. Here is where you create a little space right in the middle. And now this is important. You can either go from above and go down under. That's going to give you a different look. I like to take the pony and go underneath through. So you're pushing the pony up. And then I tighten. And that's really all that one is. Adjust this to where you want it to sit. But you just get a cute elevated half up, half down. Let me show you what it looks like from the back. Super cute. I love this one because I love a half up, half down, but this just feels a little dressier, a little different. Of course, within this, you can change it in so many ways. I could like braid a little piece down here. You throw in a cute little hidden braid in there or something and it changes the look a little. I love teeny braids, but holy crap, they're complicated. Okay, I'm pulling this all out. Okay, next one. The next couple hairstyles we're gonna get into are involving bubble braids. I love bubble braids. I love them. They're so cute. I wear this all the time. If you watch my videos, you've definitely seen me wear a couple of these hairstyles a few times. I love bubble braids. Let's get into it. Again, bangs first. Now for this one, I'm definitely more particular about my sectioning, but that's because I'm a perfectionist. Feel free to section freely, messily, whatever. I'm just anal about sectioning. So for this style, what I like to do, well, first of all, is fix my part. First section I like to take is from behind my bangs. I just like to take, I don't know, a little section and go down to like my eyebrow. Comb it out, make sure it's laying in position. Take my little elastic, and this one can definitely be tight. I want it to be tight down to my scalp. You can see it does not go very far back. I do usually like to do both sides at the same time because I feel like that helps me get it a little bit more even with my sectioning. Try and take from the same spot and go down to the same spot. Just give it a good comb so everything's laying back nicely, and hit it with an elastic. Honestly, you could 100% braid these two pieces and that's a style on its own. Next section, I like to usually go from the middle of my head and I swing down to just above my ear. This sectioning doesn't really matter. I just know how many bubbles I want to have on my head, and that's usually how I decide my sectioning and how far back or how far down to go. If you want bigger bubbles, you're gonna wanna take a bigger section. Obviously, if you want smaller bubbles going all the way down, you're gonna wanna take smaller sections all the way down. You'll be able to tell how big your bubble is gonna be dependent on how big the piece of hair is going in between one band and the other band. So this piece of hair here is your bubble. Except I'm gonna first do the same thing on the other side, fill this out. Okay, that's where the section seems to be. That's where I'm gonna go. Okay, here's the thing that I love about bubble braids so much is that you could stop at any point and it's a whole new style with any amount of bubbles. So I do wear my hair like this actually with only like 2 or 3 bubbles in there because like a little half up, half down here is so cute. But moving on. Okay, so now that I've made a nice part down the back of my head with my comb, this is where I'm gonna go in and grab a clip to make sure I'm not grabbing hair from the other side. Take a clip, I'm going to make sure all the hair is pulled tight in the back. And I'm just gonna clip this side. Just moving on down the head, combing the section out. Oh, snapped that one. I will say the hardest part about this style is definitely getting them even. But again, I'm a perfectionist, so if you don't really care about evenness, whatever. I always like to grab my handheld mirror and I use my big mirror to turn around and check the back of my head. Sections are even for the most part. So this is one of the styles I like to do a lot. So let's go ahead and fluff the bubbles up from here. Now, this is what the bubble is. Try not to grab the hair underneath when you're blousing it, but I just like to pick this little section up and just pull it. And honestly, like you can make these as big or small as you want. And there you have a little half up, half down with bubble braids. And even if you don't have shorter hair by your face, you can 100% do this. I just like to have hair in my face. I could even do this with how long my hair is, but I could have put these in the bubbles. Like this could have gone back and my bubbles started farther forward. I personally just like to have hair in my face, so I like to leave those pieces out. Let me show you from the back what this looks like. Let's go one step further and add another bubble. From here, I basically take all of my hair and tie it off. Okay, I've just created one more section, which makes this into cute ponytails. All right, with that last elastic, we need to make our last bubble. And now, instead of half up, half down, you have cute bubble braid ponytails. And there is what the back looks like. So my sectioning is not perfect, but it still looks really good. It doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. This is one of my favorite hairstyles to wear. I just think the bubble braids look so cute. And I love that when you pull that just one section out, you get the half up, half down bubble braids. This is where I like to go in with these guys. I just open them up and put it right over the elastic and pinch it closed. You can usually find these like on Amazon, at Sally's, and that just dresses it up a little bit, hides those elastics for you if you want to hide those elastics. I'm pretty sure they come in all different kinds of colors and styles. Now let me just take all of this out. And with each elastic I take out, the style changes. Oh, I accidentally pulled that one a little too far. I know these elastics suck to get out of your hair sometimes. I honestly feel what works best for me is just getting a grip underneath the elastic and sliding it out. Depending on your hair type, you may or may not be able to do that. If you have curly hair, I can't help you, I'm sorry. If you're cutting these out, please be careful. Please be careful. I've seen so many people cut their hair when they take these stupid things out. I will say the smaller the section, the more I struggle. Okay, the next style I'm actually gonna do is inspired by Kiara from Outer Banks. Okay, this is such a rough image of the hairstyle, but it's one of the best images that I have been able to find. Here is what her hair looks like. I remember watching that episode of Outer Banks and I just thought her hair was so cute the way it was styled. So that is one that I just fell in love with and like to wear a lot. So let's do it. Okay, this one still is bubble braids, but it is much bigger bubbles. So I'm going to make sure the sectioning in the back of my head goes straight down. I'm gonna go in and make sure I section this side off so I'm not pulling from the opposite side. And then I'm actually gonna start my first section with taking the comb at the point where my head rounds back down, and I'm gonna take it to above my ear. I'm kind of keeping this one on the top of my head. I'm trying to keep this one a little bit more on the top of my head. And then I'm gonna go in from the center. I'm just using my mirror so I can see with my comb here. And then I'm just taking from the center of my head to my ear. And this is going to be more on the back of my head. I'm making sure not to pull it to the side too much. And then the last one is just going to be finishing off the pony. So I will show you what it looks like from the back. So I just want to put this pony at the nape of my neck. So I'm making sure to hold it down. Okay, I'm going to repeat on the other side. Okay, now let's create our bubbles. Same technique, just pulling that hair that goes in between the pony. Just pull it so it's laying how I want it to lay. From the front, it does kind of look more the same as the last one did, but these larger bubbles definitely look different from the back. Look how cute. So cute, I love it. Obviously, all of these styles are gonna look a little different on all the different hair types and hair colors. That always plays a factor. Okay, next one. Okay, section out the bangs again. Okay, so I'm going to section off like the back of my head, sectioning off that back so I don't go too far back with it. And then I'm gonna take just a small section and go straight back and put a little elastic in. And then I'm gonna take another one on the side and just go straight back. Just repeating the same on both sides. For this one, you could leave your ponies just like this if you wanted to, or you can do that like little twisty thing like I did with the first one. Let me do that really quick. Basically make a little hole with your section and flip your ponytail through and then tighten. Do the same thing. And then you can also braid a few pieces if you want to do that. Whenever I am doing braids in these styles, I make sure to grab a very small amount of hair because I think if you have too chunky of a braid, it sticks out a little too much. When I do little braids like this in my hair, I do just try and keep the braids a bit smaller because personally, I like when the braids don't stick out that much and they kind of blend in a little bit or you don't notice them right away. And also when they are smaller, oop, in a certain way. Doing such tiny braids takes such a long time. The nice thing about doing super tiny braids is you don't really need an elastic at the end. As long as you do them tight enough, they kind of just hold by themselves. Don't even need to finish that. See, it blends in just enough and sticks out just enough. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. You can honestly grab a piece from wherever. How cute! Let me show you what the back looks like. And then of course, if you wanted to, you could again go in with the little braid cuffs and pop those on. And that is what that looks like. Alrighty, so there we are, you guys. Looks complete. That is all I've got for this week's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. And leave me a like because it really helps me out. And leave me a like because it really helps me out. I'll see you guys in the next one.